This is the 80s Show on iHeartRadio.
Say ho, ho, say ho, ho, ho. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Say ho, ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
It is a Tuesday that is considerably brighter than most Tuesdays. Why? Because Homer, the puppy dog, is here with me at work today. If you hear the jangling of a collar, or if you hear him barking at someone in the hallway because it looks like they're about to come in, and he was like, hey, Dad's working, making the kibble. If you hear anything of that, you'll know that today I'm on the air with the help of the cutest puppy of all time. I say puppy, Homer's been around the block. He still looks like a puppy. Everyone thinks he's a puppy. But Homer's 13 years old. And Homer, I don't know if you've ever had a dog before. I don't know if you've had a dog. I don't know if you've had that constant companion that's been with you through the high times, the low times, and all the times in between. Got Homer when I was really just a kid. And I'd had a dog before. Who, you know, if I if I look at his picture long enough, I'll always be moved to tears. Why? Because dogs, and it's science, really. Dogs have been scientifically proven to be man's best friend. They are the most evolutionarily successful animal on the face of the planet. Why? Because dogs identify the dominant species, that's us, man. Or at least we like to kid ourselves, that's us. Dogs identify the dominant species, and they evolved to scientifically be man's best friend. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Gandhi. I don't care if you're Mother Teresa. A dog will teach you how to love. Get a dog. It'll make you a better person.
If you like what you're hearing, tweet the show at ADSXE. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. This is my United States of whatever. Picture me giving a damn, I say never. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace and that
Michael Phelps, superstar swimmer. Genetic anomaly that has allowed him to become a casual collector of dozens of Olympic medals. Michael Phelps, good at the splashy, not so good at the drivey, or at least not whilst under the influence. He's been arrested for driving under the influence in Maryland. This was yesterday night, according to a published report. Cops are preparing a statement and expect to address the media very soon. This is his second DUI arrest. He got his first back in 2004 when he was just 19 years old. 22 Olympic medals. He should probably, at this stage in the game, use some of his oodles of endorsement money and just have somebody drive him around. I'm quite sure that that's a thing. Then he can, he can smoke as much pot as he wants and get from A to B. Yep. Michael Phelps. Do you remember when the Michael Phelps diet came out and it's like 8, 9, 10,000 calories a day or something like that? I had a friend who tried to eat the Michael Phelps diet for a week and it almost caused him to end his life. So Tebowing, speaking of sports, Tebowing, you know, like praising God in the middle of the field, that's okay. But if you are called Hussein Abdullah, and you play for the Chiefs and you want to worship in a Muslim way on the field, well, that's going to get you flagged, apparently. Now, I think that the worship of God in the middle of a football field, no matter which God you pray to, no matter how you choose to worship, and it's cute. It's whatever. But, you know, if this thinly veiled theocracy in which we live is going to accept one, you're going to have to take the rough with the smooth, bitches. And when that sect of worshipers of a god, if it's not your God, decides to worship in his own way on a football field, you kind of got to deal. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Also, interesting laws empowering women in California now regarding consent if you want to do it. Is it a good idea? I honestly, it's like a lot of good laws. It's like a lot of good ideas. Fantastic in theory. In practice, it leaves itself wide open to be abused by people that are not of the strongest moral fiber whatsoever. And we'll get to all that today in the show. Right now, though, let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. If you want to join in the conversation, you can tweet me at ADSXE, or you can talk to super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser at Funk FM. Funkhouser, A, how are you? B, what is going on in the world?
Oh, hello. It's fall.
Yeah, fall allergies, right?
Yep.
Did you get the Mucinex that I told you to get?
Yeah, well, I was going to get the Mucinex, but the thing next to it, the, equivalent cheaper brand.
Sure.
Which is called something else, the green box. Yeah, I got
green,
that.
Right. Okay, but it does the same thing as Mucinex.
Yeah. It's working out, but it's making my voice a little raspy.
It dries up the mucus. Yeah, the fall funk. You know what I noticed, though? You can probably sort of whether it's your significant other that's listening to you on the radio or whether you are looking to troll for random fleas and ticks of rock and roll. Here's the thing. I notice that whenever I'm close to hacking up a lung, if I'm near death, if I've got some sort of upper respiratory thing that's about to require immediate surgery and bed rest for a day and a half, I notice that whenever I'm on the verge of death, when my health is not good, chicks dig it. Chicks dig it when you have a sore throat on the air. I'll never fully understand
rock
why.
And roll.
But yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's something of that nature. Actually, I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it is the same theory that applies to men and women. But you know how Marilyn Monroe had this sort of fluffy, Mr. President voice. You know that thing that she did? Mm-hmm. Well, that whole sleepy, half-stoned, sort of like your voice half an octave lower, that implies that you are in bed. And so we don't necessarily know it, but it's a psychological trick. It sounds like a bedtime voice. It sounds like when she's speaking to you in that way, really in your mind, she's in bed ready to be good to go, like you're a Kennedy. And in fact, it's a psychological trick. So I wonder if that's the same thing. When I get on the air and I'm hacking up a lung, or when Funkhouser is suffering the ill effects of the fall allergy season, I wonder if the thing that gets the ladies' midsection singing Sweet Virginia is the fact that it's reminiscent of a voice that you hear whilst in bed. Does that hang together?
Yes, I think so. Especially the Sweet Virginia part. It always gets me.
Get your midsection singing Sweet Virginia. I think that's from King of Queens. Did you ever watch King of Queens while it was on?
Yeah, like a long time ago. Yeah, when it was on, I did, yeah.
I could not stand the Leah Remini chick because she just, played too much of a PMS-y biatch for me to deal with. But Keven James is one of the funniest human beings on the face of the planet. And I don't think he gets credit, and nor do I think
Mall Cop?
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
That was funny!
It was funny. I thought it was funny. But, if you ever see him do stand-up or his stuff on King of Queens, and here's the thing. There's a real comedy nerd thing going on where there's sort of all sorts of comedic types that the comedy nerd world is kind of snarky and one-uppy, and it's jealous and biting, and I think he doesn't care about the respect of his peers in that department in terms of being a stand-up. He's kind of just doing his own thing, and I don't think he ever returned to stand-up after he became a TV and movie actor. After the Mall Cop, there was no going back to doing stand-up. I think his credibility in the comedy world was shattered, but I also think he doesn't care. But that guy is one of the funniest people on the face of the planet. If you've never seen his, and I think he only did his one stand-up comedy special, watch his, I don't even remember what it was called, but he did a Comedy Central stand-up special, and it's freaking hilarious. But, it's an interesting ethic that has entered the comedy world. And I think Louis C.K. has a lot to do with it, where Louis C.K. will do a new hour every year. He'll spend a year working on his hour of material, and that leads up to a special, which he tapes, and then he throws everything out and he starts all over again. It used to be stand-up comics were working on the same 15, 20 minutes, half hour for years and years and years and years. And there's not too many comedians that started doing the Louis C.K. thing where they come up with a new hour every single year. But if you watch the Keven James stand-up comedy special, where he's already a huge star, he's already in King of Queens, he's using the same jokes that helped him win Star Search like 10 years earlier. It's just, he goes through his A game. It's interesting to see the work ethic with different comedians and when they recycle stuff. Like, I think Jerry Seinfeld said it's sort of like a big corporation where at the end of the year he fires the bottom 10% and replaces that, and then there's just this slow churn that over time reestablishes all new material. But like, it's a on the one hand, it's a brave move throwing out an hour every single year when you do that sort of stuff. But for, I don't know, that's a stand-up comic. Funkhouser and I get on the air and do an hour of spoken word every single day. We make some rough notes, and then we open our mouths and hope for the best. So, I don't know. I don't think stand-up comics can do that when you've got people that are paying to see you. You can't go into it in such a haphazard form. But people are like, oh, Louis C.K.'s so brave for throwing out his hour every single year. I was like, come up with something new and awesome every single day. And I'm not saying we're comedians, but just,
Or mall cops. We're not mall cops either.
We're not mall cops. Are you holding the mall cop thing against my love of Keven James? I understand that. I get that. I understand your comedy nerd smug sense of superiority. You can take that with you in your Prius as you drive to Whole Foods to buy organic peaches and laugh at poor people. But here's the thing: watch his stand-up special. If you don't think it's hilarious, I will stand corrected. I also know that you don't have you don't have a sense of humor. But have you ever heard that expression, good sense of humor? Oh, they've got a good sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so funny. What do you like about them? They have a good sense of humor. Like, I don't think there's a good or bad sense of humor. Like, you have a sense of humor. And some people are woefully devoid of having a sense of humor, but, like, either you got one or you don't. I don't think there's a good versus bad sense of humor. So when people go, oh, he's got a great sense of humor, like, what the hell is that supposed to mean, even? I know what having a great sense of humor means. It means that you enjoy Keven James stand-up specials. Watch it. Oh, ye doubters, you will be proven woefully wrong, especially the bit he does on pizza math. Oh, my God, so funny. Again, something he recycled from Star Search, which made it all the way up to his comedy special like 5 years later. But the New York City pizza math, awesome. We should pull some of that up and play it on the show just so I can prove to everybody how brilliant he is. You know what? It's probably my own insecurities at work here, because at no point did you ever say anything other than mall cop. You never said Kevin. Yeah, you never said Keven James isn't funny. You just said mall cop. And I was like, he is too funny. You're like, what does mall cop have to do with that? Anyways, let's look at the events of today, Funkhouser, shall we?
All right, well, U2 is launching a massive tour next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. U2's going on tour to support their new album. Right now, I think the plan is for Apple to enter your home while you're sleeping and transport you to the arena, whether you want to see it or not.
I can't wait to see U2. It's going to be a great show. I have a good sense of humor.
Mall cop. Would you be interested in seeing U2?
If I had $1,000, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a pricey ticket. And to answer your question, no. Please, no.
No, seeing U2. Yeah, they're one of those bands that I've always wanted to see, but you know the expression, jump the shark?
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though U2 may have jumped the shark. And U2 are one of those bands that I, for years, wanted to see. It's like everybody thinks that when you're in radio, you get to see everything you want to go see. It's like, you're in radio, you must get to see all the bands all the time. And it's just like, no, never got to see 9 Inch Nails, never got to see U2, never got to see Green Day yet. Every time I turn around, there's Fall Out Boy again, which is fine. Fall Out Boy are good, but they're not like on my list of epic bands I must see before I go to my grave. And U2 was on that list, but now I've kind of got a distaste for them, especially because I saw 9 Inch Nails and for the first time in my life, and I was like, yeah. I